today I got a question. Okay. I got a question for you. Have you ever been the person that been through some things and you're like, this ain't God. God wouldn't do anything like this. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. I am Pastor Quay, and this episode we're going to be doing Bible Talk Wednesdays. Now, if you've been following me and you subscribed and you've been listening to these videos, you've heard the Bible talk. And we've been talking about Esther and all that good stuff. But I'm going to cut in interruption with the Esther. We're on chapter 4. We're supposed to be going to chapter 5. But today I got a question. Okay. I got a question for you. Have you ever been the person that been through some things and you're like, this ain't God. God wouldn't do anything like this. Have you ever been that person? Comment and let me know. And don't forget to like and subscribe. So this is what I wanted to talk about, because when I came over to God, y'all, I don't know about y'all, but I just thought things would be, things are easier. But I just thought some of the struggles that I went through before, I wouldn't have to encounter. I thought I was going to be, like dressed up, all pretty, looking good, and I ain't got to put on a fake smile because all the stuff I'm going through behind closed doors. Well, anyway, coming over to God, a lot of times we have this perception where we have this belief that God won't do certain things, or he won't allow certain things. Let me put it that way. He won't allow certain things. So the reason I'm saying this, it came to my mind because I was reading the Bible and I was thinking about the children of Israel. And then when you look at their path and how God would put them into bondage, and then he would take them out, and then they wouldn't get it together, and he would put them back into bondage, and he'll take them back out, And I was like, when we think about God, and because God is the definition of love, and this is his identity, sometimes we feel like love is just supposed to make you feel good. It's supposed to make you look good or want to look good, supposed to massage those places where you're hurting, and we don't think about the other side. Me being a parent, you see things differently too. And I truly believe that God take us through natural situations. Like we have these natural relationships, whether it's friendships, whether we're dating and married or marriage. Then we have our relationships as far as having children and things like that. And I believe that God really shows us and help us understand spiritual things through the natural things, because that's what we understand easily. So being a mother, it's like thinking, God loves me so much. Okay. He loves us so much. And that love that he has for us is we can't comprehend. He has to show us natural things to try to get us to understand bits and pieces at a time, because the way that God loves us, the way that he loves us, we couldn't even handle it in one dose. That's how much love he got for us. Then when you think about this love, it makes you think about how far would he go to make sure that I'm there to spend eternity with him. Me as a mother, it's like, how far would I go to make sure my child get the point of, you don't need to be in the street by yourself, or you don't need to go that way because it's dangerous. Like, how far will we go to protect our own? And when we think about that, it's like, then what wouldn't God allow, right? Like, what wouldn't God allow? If whatever God is doing, and this is an encouragement to, and to get us to think about the love that God has for us. Because when we see trouble and we see situations and things that happen to us, these situations can cause us to be angry with God. It can cause us to run from God rather than run to him. But God is like, I'm trying to get you to see that I see some stuff that could be worse than what you're actually going through. and stuff that you really can't handle. Because if I allowed something, that means I gave you a way out. If I allow something, that means you can handle it, because that's just how much I love you. I'm not going to put too much pressure on you to where you can't handle it. Think about us as parents. When we're teaching our children new things, and some of us believe in using the rod. Spoil the child. What it say? If you don't use the rod, you'll spoil the child. Man, that's scripture. Now, some of us believe in that, and some of us take that dear to our heart, and some of us don't. Some of us feel like, okay, maybe my words can be the rod or whatever, however you parent. But sometimes that rod may have to come out, that belt, that pop, or whatever. But when you are getting on your child and you love the child so much, you're not going to put too much pressure on that child, okay? And no matter what you're trying to teach them, even the words, there are certain things, even when I get on my child and I'm upset with him, or I'm going to say him because I have all boys. So when I'm upset with my children, y'all, I be upset, but sometimes I got to withhold laughter because they don't know that, they don't know that I have good intentions of what I'm doing. Okay. They know it, but they don't necessarily understand. Like, how should I put that? They have a feeling that I have good intentions, but they don't really understand like the process, like why I'm doing stuff the way I'm doing, like why I got to get loud when they're about to fall, like why I got to be hurting their feelings when I say certain kind of stuff. They don't have a full understanding just yet because they're learning. But it may when I'm upset with my children, is no hatred, is no the even though they may hear a bad sound, like they may hear me get loud, they may hear frustration, they may hear, certain things, but it's really nothing but love because I'm trying to protect them. And half of the times I'm trying to hold back my laughter from how they're reacting to what I'm doing. So when you think about your children, and that made me think about God, a lot of times we be feeling like God is so angry, and he do get upset with us. God get bothered with us. We know that. Sometimes we do stuff when we know right from wrong. Just like the Israelites, they knew right from wrong. Matter of fact, they had all these laws. They had ways to how to. They had to make sacrifices and all this stuff to get out of it, but they just kept doing the stuff that they knew they weren't supposed to do. And we do that. We do the stuff that we know we're not supposed to do. And when God is getting on us, he don't want us to be condemned, but he do want us to be convicted. And so I can just imagine God being on that end and we just having all kinds of tantrums, thinking that it's over now. We ain't going to ever get it right. And he's like, they just don't see what I see. They just don't get what I get. They don't know what I see in them. They don't know that I see the finished product. Like I can see, like sometimes y'all, my temper tantrums that I be having when I'm going through, I know God be laughing at me. I know because when I come out, I be laughing at myself. So when we think about what God wouldn't allow, or even when those things that God do allow, we like, oh, I didn't think God was going to do that. That couldn't be God. I just want you to be encouraged because those things that you didn't think that God was going to allow you to go through, he's only allowing it because he's trying to get you to grow. It's some things that he's trying to get you to learn. It's some situations he's trying to keep you away from. But in order for you to be away from them situations, there's some things that you got to experience so you can really learn. It's just like when a child, they are trying to touch fire. Sometimes you might let them feel the heat, not the fire, but feel the heat. And this is how I would teach my children. Like, okay, that's hot. Don't touch that. That's hot. Don't touch that. You can't touch the fire. You can't touch the fire. Well, when the stove is on, I would let them touch the door while the stove is closed. They just touching the glass. And then I make the biggest deal out, like, oh, that hurt. And it doesn't hurt that bad. You just feel the heat. You just feel the heat. but I'm trying to get them to see that it's something worse on the other side of that door. If you touch that door, that stove, while that door is open, that's something different. So if that's something different. That's something that God is trying to teach us. You think that the heat that you're feeling is bad, but I'm trying to keep you from the other end of that stove. I'm trying to keep you from trying to reach the top of the stove. I'm trying to keep you from some real danger that would really tear you to pieces. So how far will God go to protect us? How far will he go to make sure that we reach the calling, that we become the finished picture? Sometimes he will let us go out and do the things that we think we want to do. So then when we come back, he don't have to worry about us going that way no more. And it talks about that in the Bible. Sometimes you learn from the things that you suffer. Sometimes you have to suffer some things so you can learn, so you can stay out of it. So when we think about how far God will go or how much he will allow to get us to learn, to get us to walk in the way that he has for us, we got to really think about that. And then we have to humble ourselves and we have to turn, because it's God trying to get our attention. If you see yourself still going through a certain situation, and if you see yourself still struggling, you find yourself every year, why it seems like I keep going through this thing every year? Well, I thought I was delivered. Deliverance takes turning. It takes denying. It takes practicing the no, being intentional, turning when we want a situation to change, but God keep allowing us to go through the same thing. There's something in that thing that he needs us to know. And that's when we need to take the time and say, Lord, what is it that you need me to learn? So anyway, I just want to know what y'all think about what God will allow and how far he will go to show us how much he loves us and that he would care, that he cares for us. I want to hear what y'all think, because sometimes y'all, we can have the wrong perception when God just trying to love up on us, and sometimes love's just hurt. And I ain't talking about this worldly stuff. I'm talking about God. I'm talking about when you're trying to correct someone, when you're trying to train them to get it right, when you're trying to help them progress, help them grow. So sometimes that stuff hurt. It don't feel good. So let me know what you all think, your experience, and how you feeling. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Pastor Quay, and this is Bible Talk Wednesday. You all have a blessed day.